All right. Hey, everyone. Today I wanted to talk to you about how to develop 100 leads per month. And one of the most important things that you can do as an agent is become a lead generator, okay? I hear a lot of people that come to me from time to time and say, hey, Chris, we'd like to build a team. How do we go about building a team? And step number one, if you ever want to build a team, is you've got to figure out how to generate leads. Because what happens, I see people, they try to start a team and then they get together, they meet at a coffee shop, they say, all right, great, we're a team, we're going to split all of our commissions now. And then they kind of wait around for business to come in, and they don't have business come in. And so the reason is because they're all excited about the team, but they didn't really come up with a plan for generating leads, okay? Leads is where this begins. And if you're ever thinking about starting a team, you have to figure out how to generate more leads than what you can personally develop on your own. And I would start out at least to have 10 extra leads per month than what you are physically able to handle yourself. Because if you're going to bring on a team member and you're going to take some of their commission, you're going to have a split with them, then you have to be sending them business. And if you're not sending them at least 10 leads per month, then it's likely that they are not going to be able to generate income that's going to make it even worthwhile for them to be on your team. So I would start out by becoming a major lead generator, okay? And I thought I'd talk to you about how that can look. There are so many ways to generate leads in this business. And unfortunately, most agents, they're missing out on a lot of those leads. Everyone, they get their real estate license, and then they'll tell everyone, hey, I'm a realtor. They talk their sphere of influence. Maybe they tell everyone at church. They get on their Facebook wall and tell everyone, hey, I'm a realtor. I've got my license. And it's great to work your sphere of influence because a lot of your business will come from that. But what I found is that I can blow through my sphere of influence in about a week or two. After about a week or two, my sphere of influence, they're all like, yeah, I get it, Chris, you're a realtor. I understand. And so I can't keep pounding my sphere of influence. I have to figure out other ways to generate leads. And if you're really going to make a lot of money in real estate, at some point, you have to figure out how to sell houses to people you don't know. Okay? That's basically what a lead is. Now, you find a person that you don't know them outside of this real estate relationship, and you become their agent, and then you close on a house. Okay? So you have to figure out at some point how to sell homes to people that you don't know. Okay? So we're going to talk about that today. All right, here we go. Idea number one. Let me see if I can get through these. Okay. Idea number one is to work conversion squeeze pages. And we have training about this, but in particular, I would go to the Conversion 101 training that we've done, the top 12 things you need to know to generate money with conversion. And thing number one, if you want to make money with conversion, is you have to figure out how to generate a squeeze page. A squeeze page is basically a mini landing page that highlights either a single property or a list of properties. And so it's a landing page that shows this one property or a list of properties. And when people click on it, they call it a squeeze page because the idea is that you're going to squeeze the contact information from the person who's on the page, okay? So you're going to get their contact information, figure out who they are, and so that's what a squeeze page does. Now, the idea is use conversion in particular in conjunction with Craigslist at a minimum. And if you'll generate, or if you'll post 2 or 3 squeeze pages per day, highlight listings on Craigslist, 2 or 3 per day, that'll generate 30 to 50 leads per month. Okay, that's pretty significant. And so I would encourage you to get into conversion, figure out how to do the squeeze pages, figure out how to post those listings on Craigslist and other forms of social media. You can post on Instagram and Facebook and LinkedIn, and just use those squeeze pages to start generating leads, okay? Don't sit back and wait to be given a lead. Go out there and find those people. You wake up each morning, you're a hunter, you're gonna put on your hunting hat and go out and hunt for leads, hunt for people who are looking to buy or sell real estate. And this is an incredible tool that we have. And and by the way, with these squeeze pages, it does not have to be your listing to post this on social media or on Craigslist. We don't take, if we post someone else's listing, we never take credit for that. We always attribute to who that is, give credit to whoever it's due. So that's built in automatically through conversion. When we post to Craigslist, it automatically says who is brokering the listing. But if they'd like to schedule a showing, they come and find you. And that's permissible because of broker reciprocity agreements that we've got through the MLS, okay? And we definitely want to do squeeze pages for all of our Plumtree listings. So I would go through the first thing and find every Plumtree listing in your area and create squeeze pages for all of those, okay? The next thing here, number 2, is to go after for sale by owners, okay? If you want to generate 100 leads per month, 30 of those at least can be for sale by owners, okay? And you can go through services like Land Voice or I think it's RedX. So there's plenty of others. You can find these and pay for sale by owner leads. But one of the easiest ways, and it's the cheapest, it's free, is you can go through Zillow. And so get into Zillow. You can set up a search for whatever area you're wanting to identify. And then, and I use this through a polygon search. I draw a circle on a map, and then on these types of listings, I click for sale by owner. And I sort out, I get rid of all the ones that are listed by other agents, and I only specialize or focus on the for sale by owners. And so you'll see there in your area, there's probably hundreds of for sale by owners right now in your MLS or in your MLS area that you could be calling. And so I would recommend go after these. Now, for me, when I'm going after a for sale by owner, I always pitch the $500 flat fee MLS listing. And that's just a way to get a foot in the door, because all the agents in the world are going to be calling these for sale by owners and saying, they're going to be saying, hey, I'll list your house. Hey, I'll list your house. And they're thinking, you know what? We're for sale by owner because we don't want a realtor. And so realtors come in there and they try to sell their services. And so that everybody's saying the same thing. But you can be the person that says, you know what? Have you ever thought about a for sale by owner flat fee MLS listing? And that can get you 30 leads a month right there. Okay. So one of the things I'll say about it is you don't have to like for sale by owners or like flat fee MLS listings. We have plenty of agents that don't like those. But what I've figured out is if I get up in the morning and I make a conscious decision today, I'm going to get a flat fee listing. Just about any day I want to get a flat fee listing, I can. And if you get a flat fee listing every day, that comes out to about $180,000 per year in income. Okay, and that doesn't consider the amount of buyer business that you'll get from having all these flat fee listings. So nothing can blow up your business quicker than doing flat fee listings. You don't have to do them, but I've made a lot of money doing them, and I encourage you to do the same. So flat fee listings through for sale by owners. And the next thing, number 3, the next best way to generate leads is expired listings. And I have down here that you can generate 100 leads per month through expired listings. But the reality is you can probably generate about 600 per month. You can probably get at least 20 per day if you're actually going after these. So 20 per day times 30 days, you're talking about 600 leads per month that you can get. But let's just call it 100. Just through expired listings alone, you can get 100 leads. Now, I do use a service for these whenever I'm going after expired listings. I tend to like Land Voice is a great resource to go to get these types of leads. I believe you pay somewhere between $70 to $100 per month. And what I'd recommend is you take a chance on 1 month. Just say, hey, I'd like to do this for 1 month. I'm going to throw $100 on the table and see if I can get my $100 back. In other words, if you can throw $100 on the table, get 600 leads in a month, and get 1 listing, obviously it's worth it. Actually, if you throw $100 on the table for every month for 12 months, that's $1,200. If you get 1 listing over the course of a year, that's what, 7,200 leads you can get over the course of a year. If you can't get 1 listing out of 7,000 leads over the course of a year, then you probably are in the wrong business. And any time that I've needed to get an extra 10 leads or 10 listings, I always go to expired listings. And one of the reasons I like expired listings so much is because a lot of times the people have already been humbled by their past failure with this other agent. So they say the early bird gets the worm, but the early bird gets the worm, but the second mouse gets the cheese. You get it? The second mouse gets the cheese. Okay, so what they're saying there is that first mouse gets slaughtered on the mousetrap. The second mouse comes along and he gets the cheese, right? So what I've seen is a lot of times the first person to get that listing, the homeowners are kind of proud, maybe a little bit arrogant. They think they're know-it-alls. They know how to sell a house. And so the agent says, hey, I think you're priced too high. And they're like, you don't know what you're talking about. They'll say, hey, you know that purple room there? Maybe you should paint that off-white. And they're like, you don't know what you're talking about. Everyone's going to love that purple room. Right? And so the house ends up not selling. And so you come after after they've botched it up on that first listing, and you tell them, and my unique selling proposition to get the listing appointment is I tell them I have a 29-day guaranteed sale program. So for sale by owners, they're looking for cheap. Expired, because they've had the listing on the market for 6 months already, they're looking for quick. So I really pitch the 29-day guaranteed sale program. And what I say is if it doesn't sell within 29 days, I won't take a commission. But there's 3 criteria that they have to qualify for in order to qualify for the program. Number 1 is they have to have the house professionally inspected. Number 2, they have to have the home professionally staged. And number 3, they have to have the home priced according to an average of 3 automated valuation measurements, which would be Zillow, Real, AVM, and NARRPR.com. So I take an average of those prices. That way it's not me arguing the price. I can tell them, hey, these mechanical robot websites, they're all saying that your house, it should be this price. So what I can tell you about the 29-day guaranteed sale program is that we've never had an agent give away a free listing because the house didn't sell within 29 days. Because if they've had it inspected and corrected, they've had it staged and it's priced right, it will sell within 29 days. I guarantee it. So that's what I pitch on an expired listing. So I make these phone calls anytime I've needed to get an extra 10 listings. I've always gone after expired listings and get those calls. Okay. The 4th way to get 100 leads per month, which by the way, we're already way over 100 leads per month. The 4th way is old expireds. Okay. So here we are, as I'm doing this today, We're right in the middle of the coronavirus. Let me see here. We're April 8th of 2020. All of us are still quarantined. Probably some people will be watching this video after we are finished being quarantined. And but what I can say as of today, let's say you start calling old expireds, and you might talk to someone, and by this, these might be homes that expired back in December. So maybe it came to the holidays. They were kind of tired of their house being on the market. Maybe it expired in January, and he said, let's wait until the summer. Well, here we are. It's almost summertime. Now's the time to call any listings that have expired in the past 6 months and say, hey, you know what? We're getting into the summertime, and now's a great time to list. And, the market seems to be taken off. And there are some indicators that we're going to actually have a really good market this summer. So don't be too afraid right now. I believe we've got some bright sunshine ahead of us. So, but this is a great way to get people to start thinking about the summer and start pitching the idea of relisting their house. So and you can get these leads through Land Voice. You can do a search of any houses that have expired but have not been relisted in the past month or the past 2 months or the past 6 months. And if you go back 6 months, you're probably going to be finding thousands and thousands of listings that expired but were never relisted. And those are great opportunities to start crushing the phones. But we'll just call it 100 per month leads that you can call. But it's probably really in the thousands, okay? So that's number 4. Number 5, then, the 5th category is working your sphere of influence, okay? Your sphere of influence. Your sphere of influence should generate at least 5 leads per month, okay? Now, I know this isn't as many leads as maybe some of the other categories, but your sphere of influence, those are the types of leads that once you have them, they're wanting to look at houses or maybe talk about listing their house. Because they're within your sphere of influence, you have a much better closing ratio with this type of person, okay? And there's lots of research out there. One of the best ways to develop leads from your sphere of influence is to start out by creating a database. And I would recommend create a database with 1,000 people. Create your dream 1,000. So go through all your Facebook friends and try to figure out how many of them would be a potential client in your market. So put them on a list, put them on a spreadsheet. And so you've got them, you've got their cell phone number, their email address, their home address. What about LinkedIn? Who are you connected with on LinkedIn that could potentially be a client someday? Who are some of your relatives that live near you that could potentially be a client someday? Who are people that you go to church with that you're close to, that are friends, that would potentially be a client someday? I wouldn't just download the church database, but what you can do is find people that you're really close to. Think about any youth sports organizations. Who are people that you know? So just brainstorm, take hours and hours to do this because it's so valuable, and develop as big of a list as you can. And the goal should be to set up a list with 1,000 people that you have. And then now here's the kicker. What they found is of your sphere of influence, you should try to stay in touch with them, make contact with them 40 times over the course of a year, okay? 40 times. Now, I've probably lost some of you. You're thinking, 40 times? Are you nuts? Have you lost your mind? I am not going to ram real estate down the throats of all my friends 40 times in a year. Well, there's some easy ways to do it, okay? And we talked about this recently, but with your sphere of influence, the easiest way to make a ton of contacts with your sphere of influence is to offer them to receive automated updates to the market for their neighborhood. Okay, so I would be contacting your entire sphere and say, hey, look, the market is kind of a little wobbly right now, and now's a great time. If you want, I can sign you up to get monthly updates or weekly or bi-weekly updates to the real estate market in your neighborhood. And anytime a house goes on the market, I can make sure that it'll email you the listing so you'll know it's there. You'll know what the price is of the house. You'll be able to see the pictures and look inside of your neighbor's house. And then you'll be able to compare that to what you have. And then when the house sells, you'll see that as well. So you'll know if a house sells or if it doesn't sell. This is a way for you to protect your investment in your neighborhood, to make sure you know what's going on in your neighborhood as far as property values. Most homeowners would love to have this information, and you can have it set up in the MLS. So what this can do then, if they get a weekly market update for their neighborhood, that alone is 52 touches per year. And as I said, the goal is 40. So let's say you send them something every other month. That's 24 just from the MLS. So that's one of the quickest, easiest ways to begin making touches with your sphere of influence. So you've got that. You've got the automated property updates, but also you can send out important articles to your sphere of influence. Maybe once a month, you can send out a market update, national real estate news, or maybe you'll send out an article that tells, here's the top 10 improvements you can make to your house to help you increase the value of your house. Just helpful little articles like that. So you can do those once a month. So that's 12 touches. So you've got your, 20, we'll call it 24 touches from the property updates. Then you have 12 by sending out some article once a month. And then through Facebook or social media, you can go through, I would recommend spending about an hour a day or 30 minutes a day on social media for business purposes. Go through and like and comment on people within your sphere of influence, comment on their posts. So if you do 10 or 20 light touches through social media each day, you're going to keep making those contacts with your sphere of influence. And, people, they remember what they post on social media, and then they remember who likes their posts, right? When they get it, when their post is liked, they're like, oh, someone liked my, they get a dopamine hit on their brain. So you can be the one that's handing out these dopamine hits. You can be liking people's pictures and stories, and you can be commenting on them and build a relationship. Even though you might have 1,000 people out there, you're actually building and developing a relationship with them, okay? So those are just a few ideas with sphere of influence. And the idea is, if you will work your sphere of influence and you will develop what they've found is if you'll make 40 contacts with your sphere of influence per year, then you can develop one sale from every 7 people you have in your database. One sale from every 7 you have in your database. And it might not be them that's buying or selling the house, but it's through that sphere that they're directing you to someone that will buy or sell a house. So work your sphere of influence to generate leads, okay? All right, the next one, number 6, is local investors, okay? Local investors can generate up to 10 leads per month for business. And the way that I would recommend that you connect with investors is through LinkedIn. I would get into LinkedIn and then look at your city and start connecting and searching for real estate investors in your city. And I would send 10 connection requests every day to start building up your connections. I've got over 10,000 connections in my LinkedIn because I work the LinkedIn market so hard to try to make connections with anyone that's involved in real estate. So work that. LinkedIn, working with investors, is a great source of getting listings and working with investors that might want to sell properties. So work the local investors market, maybe become a member of your local real estate investors association and just really try to connect with investors. Okay. Number 7 is work through Facebook ads. Okay. So you can have sponsored posts. You can boost posts. And the best way to do this is to create a custom audience. So you get all of your contacts into a spreadsheet, and then you upload that to Facebook. And this has to come through a business page, okay? You can't sponsor an ad or advertise through a personal page. You do have to have a business page to do this. But if you'll start sponsoring ads and it only goes to your sphere of influence in particular, or people who are like your sphere of influence, then that can generate tons and tons of leads, 30 to 50 per month. So I would highly recommend that you research how to do Facebook ads, and we have done other training on this as well. Okay, next one, number 8. Try not to make this go any longer than we need to. I don't want to spend 4 hours on this today, but idea number 8, Google AdWords. And for me, the easiest way to do Google AdWords is through conversion. And even on the Facebook ads, you can do those through conversion. And if you use conversion for Facebook ads, you're going to pay $3 to $6 per lead through Facebook. If you use conversion for Google AdWords ads, you're going to spend anywhere between $6 to $10 per lead, which is immensely cheaper than if you were to go through Zillow or other paid lead companies. So I would recommend that you give it a shot. At least try it for a month with conversion Google AdWords. Drop $500 or $1,000 in there just to see if you can get your money back. And I would just about guarantee that you'll get many times over the amount of money you spend on those ads. Okay. The next one, number 9, is Zillow. And I know people have a love-hate relationship with Zillow, mostly hate. And but what I can tell you is since we've been in business as a brokerage, we've had numerous agents who have come to our brokerage who in their first year of real estate have sold 50 or more properties in their first year. And almost all of those agents, the way they did it was through Zillow leads, okay? Most of them eventually get away from Zillow leads. They don't do it for the rest of their lives. But most of the agents I've seen who are top performers, they did it through Zillow, okay? So there's something there. We can't deny it. And I would highly recommend that you consider going after Zillow leads. Now, one of the things about Zillow that you want to keep in mind is if you go after the primary neighborhoods, the most expensive neighborhoods, that's where all the agents are putting their money. So those leads are ridiculously expensive. You might pay $100 or $200 per lead if you go after those A quality neighborhoods. So what I recommend is that instead of going after the A quality neighborhoods, I would go after the B or C quality neighborhoods. Don't go after the prime real estate, go after the secondary markets. And those leads are much cheaper, and you get more leads, so you generate more income as a result. Okay, number 10. This is another great strategy, OpCity/Realtor.com leads. And so our brokerage is signed up with OpCity. If you have not gotten into this program, send me a text message and we will definitely get you signed up. But this is only available for brokerages that are in their program. And so what happened was Realtor.com for a long time used to, and I think they still do it, they'll sell realtors leads, and it's very expensive. Although, I mean, plenty of agents have made a lot of money through Realtor.com leads, but it's just more of a risk when you have to pay for the lead up front, and you're paying, $1,000, $2,000, $3,000 per month for leads. That can turn into real money pretty quick. So Realtor.com has done that for a while, but what they did was they bought a company called OpCity. And OpCity is an ISA company. ISA stands for Inside Sales Agent. What that means is that OpCity has a staff of people that they call the leads, and then they hand off the lead to you as a warm lead. So you'll get a phone call from OpCity, and they'll say, hey, we've got John Smith on the phone here. He'd like to take a look at a property over on Main Street. Are you available to speak with him? And then you say yes, and they hand off the lead. So it's free to get the lead. You only have to pay if you close the lead. So you have zero risk. And so if the house is $150,000 or below, it's a 30% referral fee to OpCity. If the house is over $150,000, then that is a 38% referral fee to OpCity. So we don't take any of those commissions or anything. You're still 100% with us, but you do pay a referral fee to OpCity for that. And we've got agents selling tons of homes through OpCity. And the way that tends to start is that they will send you junky leads at the beginning just to see if you are any good. So they'll send you a $70,000 house that's in terrible condition, and you'll have to drive 30 minutes away to show this house. And OpCity just wants to see if you know how to do business, and they want to know that you're going to be sending them the referral fee. So they test you out in the beginning. So you get your first couple deals with OpCity, and then they open the floodgates, and you'll get a lot more leads. So you have to endure the first couple months with them. Okay, the next one, number 11, is Ylopo. Ylopo, however you want to pronounce that. But Ylopo is similar to Zillow or Realtor.com, but the difference is it's a little more involved type of program. So it's a little more complicated. They've got extra lines in the water. You have to build out profiles, and I've seen agents that are doing this that they're getting leads for $10 per lead or so. So I would recommend, if you're wanting to build your business, you should at least investigate Ylopo to see how to get into their program. So it's another terrific system. Another way to get leads, number 12, is bold leads. Bold leads, we've had agents do these. It's another system for generating leads. You pay them money. They help you get leads. They have a CRM built in that'll help follow up the leads. And so I would recommend at least looking into it. Next one, number 13, is Market Leader. This is another way to generate leads similar to the other services. I would write that one down, research it, and see if you would be interested in putting money into those leads. These are all paid leads that I'm showing you at this point, and definitely a good way to go. Another way to generate leads is building a personal website. So we give you a conversion website when you're with Plumtree, but many agents, they want to have 1,000% control over all the leads that come their way. They don't want to take a chance of anyone else getting their lead. They want to have the lead. They want to control how it's acquired, what the advertising is. So a lot of people will build out their own website. We've got a couple agents in particular, like Chris Johnson down in Lexington, Mike Fisner up in Cleveland, who they have their own systems and their own website, their own presence. I know we have a lot more agents than that that do this, but those are just a couple agents in particular that come to my mind. And so a couple services that do personal websites, you can do Playster is one of the companies. Agent Image is another company. I would write that down. Playster, Placester, and Agent Image. These are a couple website companies, very economical, very affordable, especially through the National Association of Realtors. Sometimes you can get special deals with them. but I would definitely look into that and developing your own private website that you have 100% control over the lead gen. So, okay, the next one, number 15, divorce attorneys. And so what happens in a lot of divorces is the couple comes to the attorney, and they the attorney, step one is they ask them, okay, what are your assets? So they list out their house and anything else that they sell. So whatever their assets are, that ends up becoming the budget that the attorney has for the divorce. So if they have $40,000 in equity in their house, guess how much that divorce is going to cost them? Anyway. I don't need to get into the legal world. It's a pretty sick world out there. But what I do know is that attorneys have a vested interest in preserving the equity in people's houses, because that's how attorneys get paid a lot of the times. So if you make contact with attorneys and let them know that you have an affordable solution for helping people liquidate their house in this difficult time, then a lot of times oh man, don't you love this quarantine? Shut up, you dog! That's my dog. He just gave me a heart attack. Okay, divorce attorneys. Yeah. Boy, he made me forget the rest of my. Oh wait, okay. So go after divorce attorneys. Number 16 is seminars and webinars. So seminars and webinars. This is a great way. If you have any type of a communication skill or gift or experience, this is a great way to start building some leads. And in a world of Zoom and online webinars, you don't even have to necessarily go to a place. You can do webinars online and do these. And so a few ideas for these. Maybe you might want to do like a new home buyer webinar and get the word out, do some sponsored ads on Facebook and trying to get the word out about it. And it doesn't have to be online. You might go to a restaurant, or you might go to some place where you can have a training room for this. So maybe a new home buyer, or maybe an investor, or maybe a webinar on how to acquire foreclosures. A great time to be training people and teaching them. Or maybe you could do a webinar on how to, or a seminar on how to sell your house for sale by owner without a realtor. You can teach people how to do this. Get a room full of people thinking about selling their house without a realtor. You teach them, you give them some ideas, and you show them the 37 different types of documents they're going to need to be able to sell their house. You let them know that there's going to be 42 people that will touch the transaction from the time that they put their house on the market to the time that they close it. And you give them all that information. If they decide it might be a little bit too complicated to do on their own, then you're the person trying to help them, and you might be the first person they call. So seminars and webinars are a terrific way to generate leads, okay? Another strategy, number 17, is contact your previous clients. All of your previous clients should be in your sphere of influence, by the way, right? So you're already following up with them, but I would say 90% of agents that I know don't stay in touch with their previous clients. So I would go back through all your previous clients and just ask them, how are they doing? Do they know anyone that's looking to buy or sell real estate? And check in with them. Maybe if you can send them an article, something that's helpful for them, and always throw in there, hey, by the way, if you know anyone looking to buy or sell real estate, give me a call. So check in with your previous clients and stay in touch with them over the long term. Number 18, logo clothing. So can you see my logo right here? Chris, the walking billboard. Okay. I would recommend that you become a walking billboard. Wear logo clothing all the time. every day. It's your uniform. If you're going to go to Kroger, you're showing up to Kroger with a Plumtree shirt on. You have your logo there and have some business cards with you, but you'd be amazed at how many people will talk to you about real estate. Strangers. Oh, you're a realtor. What do you think of the market? How do you think the market's looking? And so it opens up the opportunity for conversations. And if someone talks to you, I would somehow try to get their contact information and set them up in an automated search, at least for them to receive market updates for their neighborhood. Okay, so a lot of times I'll walk around with a Plumtree coffee mug. Maybe it's empty. I'm just walking around showing it to people, just so that people know. They're constantly thinking, oh yeah, Chris, he's a realtor. You can go to Vistaprint and you can get a logo phone cover for your smartphone, and it has the logo on it. So you can be, with a group of people, not even talking about real estate, but you just set that on the table, that logo there, and people will start talking to you about real estate. It's pretty cool the way that works. Okay, number 19. Number 19 here is build a referral network. So you definitely want to be reaching out to other people, other professionals who would potentially be able to send you business. Some people are in like BNI networks where they get together every week and they're constantly exchanging leads back and forth. But think about what type of person would send you leads. And take insurance agents, for example. Insurance agents can be great at generating leads. And so maybe you can send business to an insurance agent, but then they're sending business to you. Okay. What about, like I mentioned, divorce attorneys? What about other types, estate attorneys? And so what you might do is just call up some of these people, financial planners, say, hey, would you have time to grab coffee? I'd like to hear about your business and see, if I have clients that have a need for your service, I'd like to know about your service so it's easier for me to refer clients to you. So build these relationships with other professionals. So build a referral network. And it's best if you start sending them leads as quickly as you can, and that will allow them to trust you so that they'll send you leads. Okay. The next one, number 20. All right. Open houses. Can't do these as much with coronavirus, but someday we'll be able to do these again. And it used to be that when you do an open house, it was hard to get people to show up. It's hard to get leads through open houses. But in the last couple of years, with the market being so hot, I've seen agents many times doing open houses and getting tons of leads through their open houses. And so I guess what I would say about it, an open house is only going to be as good as you have promoted it to be. Okay. So if you don't do any advertising, you're going to sit in a house with a book for 2 hours and there won't be any value to it. So you have to promote the open house. So my favorite thing to do is to send postcards to the neighborhood where I'm doing the open house. And I'll do like a wine and cheese tasting or something like that. Go down to the store and get some $3 Chuck cheap wine and do a wine and cheese tasting on a Sunday afternoon, and just get people out, make it festive, put balloons on your signs, make sure you have tons and tons of open house signs pointing to the open house, make it seem like a party, and get it out on Facebook, do mailings, and do everything you can to get 20 to 30 people to your open house. But it takes work and it takes planning, okay? Another way to generate leads is number 21 is through probate court. So there are ways, and you can research this, there's ways to get the contact information of estates that are in probate court. So maybe someone passes away and you can have a compassionate approach to helping them connect with probate attorneys and people in the process. And you can be that compassionate person that's there to really help them solve that problem that they have. Another lead generator, number 22, is postcards and door hangers. And I would recommend, and a lot of this has to do with farming, but like farming a neighborhood, pick a neighborhood where you'd like to do business and just start sending out postcards to that neighborhood over and over and over. Different types of postcards, maybe property valuation reports and things like that. Door hangers that you put out in these neighborhoods with helpful information to help the home buyers and let them know that you're the expert in their neighborhood. Okay. Number 23 is blogging. Blogging is an excellent way to generate leads, and you can do that through a conversion website. There's a little blogging feature there, and so you can blog, and blogging doesn't have to be complicated, but blogging, I would recommend make it keyword rich when you write your blog posts. So before you write your blog, I would write out a list of what are all of the keywords that if someone was searching on Google for this keyword, I would want my name to show up in that Google search. And then write articles that include those keywords in your article. Doesn't have to be complicated. Top 10 reasons to live in Orlando, top 10 reasons to live in Cincinnati, probably 100 reasons Orlando, maybe 3 reasons Cincinnati. I don't know. There's a lot of reasons to live in Cincinnati or Columbus or Cleveland. Lots of reasons, but you can find those reasons, and you can be the expert who's helping them to understand your area. So you write these blog posts for that. It's a great tool. Number 24 then is referrals from agents in other markets. And we can especially do this now in Cincinnati. Since we're in Ohio, Kentucky, Indiana, and Florida, with those 4 states in general, in particular, you can connect with our other Plumtree agents and refer business back and forth. If you're in Ohio and you have a person looking in Florida, why not pick one of our Plumtree agents in Florida, or vice versa, or Indiana or Kentucky or wherever it is. But not just for that, I would connect with agents in other markets that might have people coming to your area, just maybe through LinkedIn. Start connecting with agents in different markets and just say, hey, if you know anyone moving to my region, I'd love to be your go-to person for getting some leads and do business back and forth with you. So next way to generate your 100 leads per month is generate local press coverage. So create press releases, do something remarkable, do something that's kind of cool, helping the community in some way through your business, and then do a press release and get the word out to your local news agencies about that. Number 26, way to generate leads, referrals from agents in other markets. So let's see, what do I have for that? Got my numbers out of place here. Referrals from agents in other markets. So you want to be working those leads from other markets. Okay, good. Got it. Got it? Get it? Got it? Good. Okay. Number 27, reverse prospecting. Reverse prospecting. So what this is, it's sort of like farming, but what you do is whenever you get a listing in a neighborhood, then you work that neighborhood around that listing to try to prospect, get additional listings in that neighborhood. So you can get phone lists and email lists and addresses and contact information for the neighborhood. Let's say you choose 200 neighbors, you get a listing, and you can call through 100 or 200 phone numbers for that neighborhood. and you call them and say, hey, my name's Joe Schmo. I've got this house listed over on Main Street. Just want to let you know that this house is available. It's an amazing house. And a lot of times people will move to a neighborhood where they already have friends, and just wanted to see if you have any friends that might be interested in this type of house. So for one thing, when you do that, those people it's going to completely blow them away that you would work that hard, that you're calling to go find a buyer for your listing. So a lot of times that will produce another listing for you when they see how hard you work. So then the other thing is, before the phone call is over, you can say, oh, by the way, do you know anyone that's looking to buy or sell a house anytime soon? And a lot of times you can pick up another listing that way. So the circle prospecting, you're doing it around your, creating a circle around each of your listings, and you're prospecting those. You can also send the same 100 or 200 people an invitation to the open house. And then you can send them a just sold postcard or just listed. So you're continually marketing to that neighborhood around the house where you have your listing. And okay, number 28, neighborhood farming, which is real similar to what we were just talking about. Circle prospecting is the best way to begin neighborhood farming. But farming is when you pick a neighborhood and you make the decision, I'm going to be an expert on this neighborhood. And so you keep working hard to make sure that you have, looks like I'm low on, let me losing my juice here. Okay. This is great. Okay, working from home. What can you say? Okay, so all right. So then the next thing is content marketing. So constantly create content, maybe videos, YouTube videos or Facebook Live videos, or create articles that show that you are an expert on real estate in your area. And that's a great way to generate leads that way. Okay, the next one is number 30, relationship marketing. So a lot of people ask the question, are you a listing agent or a buyer's agent? And I would say be a relationship agent. Don't focus necessarily on listings or buyers. Focus on relationships. If you focus on having as many solid relationships as you can, the listing and buying stuff will take care of itself, okay? So work through relationships, develop relationships, build friendships, and that will generate leads for you. Number 31, videos and vlogging, okay? Vlogging, not to be confused with blogging. So I would recommend that you become a student of technology and start to learn how to use video in a better way, so that you can establish yourself as an expert and create lead flow that way. I know of one person in Georgia who she lives out in a coastal area, and she creates YouTube videos on so she thinks in terms of keywords. So let's say take Cincinnati, for example. She would create a video on call the video Moving to Cincinnati, relocating to Cincinnati. That'd be the name of her video. And then people, as they're searching for it, her video would show up. And so in her videos, she'll talk about all the great things about living in that area. And that gets people's attention. She approaches it from a real estate side. So then she ends up using that. She gets more leads through YouTube than any other lead source. So think about that. It's a good strategy. Number 32, buy lists. You can buy lists of leads, and this would be in particular like for sale by owners and expireds, and sometimes you get lists of doctors. Maybe you want to create a program that's especially for doctors, or maybe you want to buy a list of school teachers, you can get lists of people by occupation, and you get this list of school teachers. You create a program for school teachers, and then maybe a special discount or some special financing that you partner with our lending company, and so you can create these offers and then go after these people on these special lists. Number 33, yard signs on the weekends. And I've done this with flat fee listings. I have at times had flat fee listing signs printed that says list your house for $500. And I'll pay someone $50 to put these signs out on the weekends. They pick them back up on Saturday night or on Sunday nights late. So they're only out on the weekends. And every time that I've paid someone this $50 to go out and put these signs out, I'll get at least one flat fee listing during that week. So basically I buy $500 with $50. That works in my book. So you put these signs out, and we have these types of signs that are in the Dropbox. You can look for those. And if you'd like to get those customized, send an email to admin@plumtreerealty.com, and we'll have that customized with your phone number on it. But I found that these signs are a great way to generate leads. Okay, next one is number 34, community Facebook page. This is another strategy where think about what is your neighborhood, or what is the neighborhood that you'd like to farm. Let's say your neighborhood is Willow Creek. You live in Willow Creek subdivision. And so what you do is you create a Willow Creek subdivision Facebook page, and then you're the administrator for the Facebook page. And so you can get a sign printed put it out there at the foot of the subdivision that says join our Facebook page, facebook.com/willowcreek.com, or facebook.com/Willow Creek, whatever you end up naming it. And so you put a little sign out at the edge of the neighborhood. People start joining your Facebook group, use it for the community to be able to communicate with one another. But because you own the group, then you control the content, and you can be the agent who connects with those people in that area. So community Facebook page. Another one, and this is our last one for today, volunteer regularly. So become a volunteer, maybe through youth sports, maybe at your church, maybe at a homeless shelter, maybe at a soup kitchen, but figure out ways that you can volunteer in the community. This becomes a way where people understand that you are a serving person, that you're a good person. First, become a good person, and then volunteer, give of yourself to help others, and then the business side ends up just working out. So this is our class for today, our webinar, how to generate 100 leads. Hopefully, you can actually create probably 1,000 leads per month. Each day that you get up, get out there and think, how can I generate leads today? And there are so many ways that you can do it, that you can easily build your income with virtually no ceiling. So, all right, thanks for tuning in today. Hope you're having a terrific day, a great week. Stay safe, and go make some money.